What's going on, guys? It's your boy Devante with the Camera Kicks channel, and today we're going to be talking about the video I promised you last week or yesterday, which is pretty much the video on how I record my audio and how I edit my audio. As I said before, audio is pretty important. So I know a lot of people, they just record their audio. They may throw like a noise gate on when they're recording, or they do the noise reduction or something like that. But I'm just going to show you guys what I do to get my audio sounding at least a little bit better. Now, forgive me, I am not recording this with Adobe Audition this time. I am recording it on OBS so that I can get the capture screen and audio at the same time. But I do have the audio bit rate set up pretty high, so it should sound pretty decent. But I guess we'll see whenever we get to that point. But yeah, let's go. Actually, I'm gonna drag it from here and we're gonna start. One tip that I'm going to give you guys is when you record your audio, it's better to have speakers so you can actually hear what your audio is going to sound like. Because for me, I have my microphone and my headphones hooked up to the M Audio Fast Track right here, and I can turn up the levels a little higher than what they're supposed to be. So it's not really hearing what you guys will hear. So it might be loud to me, but it's really low to you guys. So you just got to be careful with that. So either set your levels and leave them like that, or get some speakers, or just use the speakers on your computer, which is what I've been doing. Anyway, let's just get straight into it, minus all the rambling. This is the video that I did on the unboxing haul for the EOS R and the audio stuff, and all that stuff that I ended up getting. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the editing of that portion, the EOS R portion, and just show you guys kind of what I did here. So typically you can go and nest your audio so you can kind of edit it all together. So that's pretty much what I did here. Let me make sure I mute the music here, and then we're gonna drag all the way to the end. I guess I'm too far out. All the way to the end here, and this is the portion. All right, so I hope you guys can hear that at least. All right, so that's what it sounds like inside once everything's all done. But let's go to audio here. And I use Premiere Pro. That's what I've been using for probably the past 2 years or so now. Or maybe even longer. I had another channel, but anyway, beyond that, that's what I've been using. So I don't need that open. Come over here to effects. I'm going to drop this down a bit because I don't need it as big as it is. And over here on this side, you have two options. You have your essential sound, and then edit, which is going to be like an easy way to edit your audio. So here, as you can see, clean up noisy dialogue. But you have different presets that you can put onto your audio when you set it. Podcast voice from the telephone, it's a weird phone sound, radio, but clean up, balance male or balance female is probably what most people are going to be using, especially for normal YouTube stuff. But if you're the kind of person that likes to tinker with your own stuff, this is what I typically use. So first, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it. Actually, I'm going to save it as a preset just so I don't have to come back to it. Mastering preset 2. save. So I can always come, go to my presets up here, and then where is it? Mastering preset 2. So all I have to do is click it, load it onto the video, and it'll load exactly how I had it before. So that's no big deal. But I'm gonna go ahead and clear all of these so I can just show you guys what I typically do. So I'm gonna go to audio effects, and the first thing I like to do is start off with the DeEsser, and that just takes away, so I'll let you guys hear it without the DeEsser first. All right, so there's part of the audio without any type of editing or DeEsser or any volume, which is, crank the volume up. Anyway, so we put on DeEsser, we go to edit, and your essing is gonna be anywhere between 3,000 and, for me, between 3,000 and probably about maybe 8 or 9. But we'll take a quick listen here to see. All right, so my levels are around the maybe 2,500 to 3,500, maybe somewhere in between there. Right here is where my essing, or this, where those sounds are gonna come from. So then you have to come in and say, all right, well, every time you hit an S, how much do you want it taken down by? All right, so that sounds pretty good. I'm actually gonna go back to about 40. I don't want it to sound super unnatural. Like, there's some people's videos where you can tell they're de-essing really hard, and you don't hear S's, and S's are still natural, so you want it to sound as natural as possible. So there's de-essing, dynamics processing is going to be next. I'm sorry, not dynamics processing. Dynamics is going to be next for me. So this is where you start to get into your really loud sounds. So say you came in, and just like I'm gonna do for this video, if I was talking like this, and then all of a sudden I got really loud like that, this is your compressor underneath dynamics. So this is where, if I do something like that, or I get close to the mic or something, this is where I correct all of that. So whenever you're hearing it, you want to take it down by whatever your you think your level should be at. So I tend to like mine around 14 to 16, 12 occasionally, depending on how loud the audio is, but I do that. And then I have this about 2.5. So basically what this does is, anytime you have a moment where it gets loud, this drops your audio at that loud peak to a threshold, which is negative 14 decibels. And whenever it hits above that, it drops it by whatever your ratio is. So say you hit 14 and it caps at 14, it will drop it by 2.5 times that, to make sure that it's at the same level as everything else. I don't typically mess with the attack or the release too often. I just kind of leave that alone and let it go. I don't use audio gate, because audio, actually, I'll let you hear it. I'm not even getting anything. So that's why I don't use audio gate, just because it's supposed to take away anything that you don't want in the background, but it ends up doing a little too much for me. All right, so next we're gonna go with the Parametric Equalizer. So this one is gonna be where you take away like your minor sounds, like your hums, or like small hisses, like fan noise. So let's go ahead and take a listen to that. This is also where your small or your like minute frequencies are going to be changed at. So for me, I know my highs, I don't like how my highs sound. So I'm going to tweak these. As you can see, I have the 5, I've already taken it down. So there's certain lines here where you go across, and there's going to be frequencies that you don't like. So what I'll do is I'll take it up and listen on whatever frequency it is, and whichever one I hit where it really bothers my ears, I bring it down. Now you don't want to bring it down too much because then your audio will sound like crap, but this is just a way to take out what someone else might hear that you don't hear, because you're not that sensitive to that frequency. But when you bring it up, you'll hear it a lot better. You can also go to 96 decibels, and that takes it further, but I like 30. 30 is easier to mess with, and it does less. So let's see. Let's start here. I like this. The hiss is bothering me, so I'm going to take the low pass to it. These frequencies they're not completely gone, but they're definitely down a lot more. I don't want to take the hum away too much because then that takes away all the bass in my voice. But that's pretty much my baseline. It has a few frequencies and sounds that I don't particularly like, but that's when I start to throw in my noise reduction and dehummer. I'm usually pretty set with dehummer, but I'm gonna go ahead and get what everybody knows what it is, which is the denoise. I'm gonna go ahead and look at that and see what we can do. All right, so I like to do light, 10 to 20% ish. I think 20 sounds pretty good, but here's where you really want to pay attention to, because this processing focus is where you're gonna find where the noise reduction really focuses on. So here it's focusing on all frequencies. You hover over it, it comes up, right? This focuses on low frequencies. So if you have a lot of noise in your low frequencies, you can hit this and it starts to taper off the noises in your low frequency. This is for mids, this is for low and high, and then this is for high. I've been kind of going towards focus on low and high, just to try to knock out those high and those really low frequency noises that I don't like to hear. But it all depends on what I'm recording with. If I'm recording with this microphone right here, it might be different. It's probably almost never going to be something that's predictable unless you use the same one every time in the same environment and there's not a whole lot of changes. So let's see what we get here. All right, so you guys probably can't hear it, but I definitely hear the noise, the hiss, but I don't want it to sound super unnatural. There's always going to be a little bit of hiss in the background. So unless you have like a noise treated room, which obviously I don't have. So from here, I think I like where the denoise is at. So we're going to go to dehummer. And this one's kind of tricky, to be honest with you. I have a hard time deciding what I want with this one. But I don't want that. Okay. So that sounds decent there. So I think I'm gonna leave that there. That's pretty much simple. You just have to find, especially if you're a male with a deeper voice, you just have to find where your worst hum frequency is and take it out. And when you're doing this, trust me, you'll hear the difference in it. Whenever you're editing your audio. But my last thing that I typically do with my audio is I do a mastering suite, and I typically do a bright hype just to kind of put a little more spring to my voice. But one thing you want to make sure you do is take out reverb if you don't want reverb. And I may drop Exciter a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so just tweaking with my own a little bit. I just brought this up I brought this down slightly just to be even across the board here, because I did take a lot of, actually I'm gonna bring it back over. All right, cool. Because this can counteract your DeEsser and really make those S sounds hard. So I wanted to make sure that I wasn't bringing this up too far when I already brought it down, and then I'll go back to DeEsser just to try to edit it one more time. But this just kind of brings a brighter note to your voice. And this, honestly, listening to this sounds more natural to me. Like, this sounds like how I normally talk, or how, I feel like I sound in real life anyway. So now that we've done that, we'll come back up to DeEsser just to go back over it one more time. All right, here. So for me, I feel like this sounds good. That sounds perfectly fine. I don't have to add any more noise canceling or anything like that. I don't want it to sound, or noise reduction. I don't want it to sound like too edited. So then from that point, I'm gonna play around with my levels, bring up my levels to maybe about 15, just so I can have some more volume on it. Actually, I don't like that. That's too loud. All right, so let's go -10. All right, it sounds decent. I mean, it's definitely not perfect, but I mean, it to me, it sounds better than when it started. Yeah, so that's not bad, and that's pretty much how I've been going through all my videos, with these pretty much the exact same effects on how I record and edit my audio. Now, one thing that was kind of killing me on this video here is the fact that I didn't use a mic. I used my, this thing here, the Rode Video Micro, which is sitting right next to my computer. Like literally, maybe I'll show you guys later, but like my camera is right here. My computer is right next to it. So all the fan noise, matter of fact, I will let you hear what it sounds like coming straight from this. But yeah, that's it. That's what it sounds like. So I picked up a lot of noise from this, which, I mean, I could move it, but honestly, it's in a place that I really like it. So I'm just leaving it at that. Anyway, this video has gone on way too long. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave a like. If there's something different you guys think I can do, I'm still learning to edit my own audio. So this is a learning process, but this is what I've learned works really well so far when I have good audio. But like I said in my other video, if you have fans and stuff like that running in the background, obviously there's only so much you can do. So I did what I could. It sounds decent. It sounds good enough. It's not super nasty, so it works. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Oh, make sure you subscribe if you're new, please. we're at 42, I think, so far. So thanks. See you guys in the next one. Peace.